Hi, and welcome to Borandi's Guide 1 of trying to make quick money on A-Train HX. A-Train HX was a game that was released in Japan, and it's now made its way over to the UK. It's a train simulation game. It's a bit like SimCity, but the main point here is everything is revolving around trains. Now this first video, is all about making money off the stock market. Now, stock market is sort of a long method of making money, but it's necessary on a couple of these maps if you're going to complete all the maps at once. The idea here at this point is we've got to buy low and sell high. Now I've written a quick start guide over at x360a.org which explains this method, but this is a video method. There's also another guide which I'll do in another video that some members over at x360a.org have written, involving using convenience stores to get money. But on some maps we need to use the stock market mainly. So if you haven't read that guide over at x360a.org or at my blog borandi360.blogspot.com, I suggest you go read that first, because that also introduces you to some of the controls used in this game. So here we have a map which is pretty shut off from the outside world. I'm going to pause it and make my way over here to the market screen. Now within this game there are 50 companies which you can buy shares or stock from, and we're going to use that to get some money. Now the stock market as a whole in this game rises and falls as a group, so you won't end up with one company costing 17 and the other company costing 3. They'll either both be around 17 or both be around 3. So here we start this game and everybody is around about 10. Sometimes when you start different games they'll start at 5 or they'll start at 15. So let's increase the speed. Just notice I'm moving all the way to fast at the top of the screen. Now we go back to the market and we just let it run on a bit, see which way the market is going. Now luckily this game has a very quick load and save feature. This is vital for any sort of game where you're trying to deal with changing stock market conditions. Now this game does have sort of a 5-day memory. I'm not entirely sure exactly what it is, or whether it's based on a random seed number, but generally if you save it and reload it, every time you reload it the same 5-day pattern will sort of happen, and we're going to exploit that. Now ideally in this game you'll buy shares at less than 7 a piece and sell above 13. Now sometimes the shares will go as low as 3 or 1, sometimes they'll go as high as 20, so we need to have a mechanism that will sort of capture for that. And this is why we do a save before and a save after. So before we buy a bunch of shares we sell below, we sell before and we sell after. Buy before, buy after, and vice versa. You get what I'm saying? Now at the minute the shares are quite high, and we're going to have to keep waiting until they come back down. Now you'll notice in this game that every so often it will pop up, the stock market is going up, the stock market is going down, crashing, falling, surging, whatever. Ignore it. That is also completely random, has almost no relevance to the stock market. Sometimes it will be right, most of the times it's completely and utterly wrong. I would ignore it if I were you. Now unluckily I've started this game and the shares are going up quite high. We're seeing 18s and 17s, but now we're coming back down. See lots of negative numbers. What I look for when I buy shares is stick with the top 5, and you notice that if I pause the game here we've got 3 15s in the middle, 1 14 and 1 16. Now when it gets down to about 9 I'll save it, and then when most of them go down to about 8 I'll save it again, then 7, then 6, then 5. Now at some point it's going to go back up, so we're going to see so it's going to go down to about 5, then go back up 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we only save it if it goes lower. If it goes higher, we wait a little bit more, see if it still rises. If not, we reload up that save at the low prices and then buy as much as we can. Rule of thumb, keep about 200 million in your bank at all times after buying, because sometimes this game will throw up income tax and property tax, which will wipe you out. You don't want that to happen. Sometimes you have to wait for ages for the stock market to actually do something, and we just need to make sure that you've got enough money to cover that, because as you can see, we've got trains going, and by default the game gives you a really crappy setup which loses you money. And prices are still going down, so we've got a few 10s there. We've got a 2 9s, an 8 and 2 10s. So here we have 2 9s and 3 8s. Now I'm going to pause it, go and save it, save one file, and then go back to the market and press start again. Now we wait. Now if most of them go down to 7, then we save it again. Some of them have gone up. We just let it run a while. See if they've gone back down to 9s now. Gone back up to 10s. You will see minor fluctuations around a price. I mean, but you got to wait until it generally decreases as a whole. Now they're going back up. Now they've gone up about 2 or 3 points since I saved it. So I'm going to go back, reload the save. Thankfully it's quick loading and saving system. And we go back to the market. Now I'm pressing Y until I can buy 10 million shares. That's the most you can buy in any company. And then we look through for the cheapest, so I'm looking for anything below 8. So there's a 7.88 there, 7.54, 7 I missed, 7.98. So we're getting the cheapest. Now we're looking for low 8s. There's an 8.13, 8.28, 8.04. Now I've gone below 200 million, so I'll stop buying, go out and save the game, into a new slot, and then go back in the market and then press start. Now hopefully, like last time, they'll go back up. Sometimes they won't. Like I say, still unsure about this 5-day sort of memory, but it generally follows that method. And even if it doesn't, even if it goes back, we've still got the last save where we had all the money, and you can reload that and see if it goes up or down again. This time it's hovering as if it can't decide what to do. Now it's gone down. Now if it keeps going down, then you can't be bothered to reload it. You can, just leave it running, go get yourself a drink, come back, see what's happened. But the stock market as a whole will go up and down and up and down and up and down. Now, in order to buy shares from all 50 companies, if they're about $7 a piece, that will cost about 4 billion. Obviously if they're half the price, it will cost half as much. Now in this game you can buy everything for less than 5 and sell it for more than 15, and you've tripled all the money that you invested into the stock market then. The reason why we're looking for these big gaps is because you get charged 10% commission on every purchase and sale. Now we don't want that to sting us, and if you buy cheap enough, then that commission's relatively negligible. Now when you get all this money and you get about 6 billion, go over to loan and basically get as much loan money as you can. Once it takes you over 10 billion, then you've completed the map.